and greeted everybody, and the people at the entrance had a list of names. And when they looked at the list of names, they couldn't find his name there. He was shocked. And because a little queue was forming, they asked him to step aside a bit. And he said, surely, because he saw this invitation. Then they asked him a question, but did you receive a personal invitation? Because if you did, then you should have your invitation. Do you have an invitation to this party? He said, well, I thought as I read it, it looked good, so I dressed. And obviously, he was not allowed into the party. And he began to wonder the amount of time, the money, the effort, the energy, the sleepless nights, the argument with the tailor, the keep the change with the driver, and everything that he had put into attending to this party, forgetting that all that was secondary to the primary thing, which primary thing was the fact that the only way he could enter that party was he needed his personal invitation. Now, this is a story that can happen to any person. It is a fictitious story, by the way. I just made it up in my mind. But it's so real because it's possible. The reason being that as we start this year, we are just in the very first week, less than 168 hours of January 2014. The question I ask, are you putting first things first? Or are you starting this year putting celebration before hard work? Are you going to start this year putting the cart in front of the horse, expecting the horse somehow to push the cart from the back? Or are you going to plan and organize your life in such a way that the cart is where it should be, driven by the horse, which is in front? If I sat here tonight and I said, I want to wish you all a Merry Christmas for 2014, Happy Easter, Happy Tobaski, somebody will be sitting there thinking that something is wrong with Pastor Forbes today. He's wishing us Merry Christmas. Yes, I am wishing you, but I am wishing you 300 days ahead of time. 330 or 20 something days ahead of time. And I could start desiring Christmas and buying things for Christmas. But the truth is that Christmas 2014 will not come until the 25th of December this year, which is some clear 11 months and 23 days thereabout. And no matter how excited, agitated, insomniac, sleepless night, agitated I am, December 25th cannot come because I wish it. December 25th is going to come in its proper timing by the organization of God in times and season, days and nights, by the rotation of the earth on its axis and its revolution around the sun. December 25th will come after December 24th. In fact, December would not show up until the 30 days of November are over. And November cannot show up in 45 days' time. November will have to show up after October has played its role. And going backwards to September, August, July, June, May, April, March, February, until we get to tomorrow, January 8th, there is no amount of pressure, super excitement that we can place for Christmas 2014 because everything operates in its time, in its season. There is a popular verse in the Bible in the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3. Two popular verses are chapter 3 verse 1 and chapter 3 verse 11. Chapter 3 verse 1 goes like this: to everything there is a season and a right time for every purpose. Verse 11 goes like this: God makes all things beautiful in their proper time. There is nothing like the right timing. And because we know that there is a proper timing, that there's a right timing, it also means that we understand or should understand and appreciate that there is process. Because wherever there is timing, there is process, there is strategy. And if there is process and strategy and timing, then there's got to be patience. There's got to be determination. There's got to be a heart that tells you that everything will happen in their proper time. And so I could wish you Merry Christmas 2014, but that will not be relevant to you for the next 11 months and 3 weeks. So also, that man in our fictitious story thought all was well, but he forgot the key. The key was he needed an invitation. 2014 has started. It has another 327, 28 more days to go. And most of them we expect to be results and consequences of hard work. I wonder who listening to me this evening expects tragedy in 2014, bad news, sorrow, evil, evil tidings. No. Everybody is anticipating progress, good health, prosperity, joy, excitement, laughter, financial health, progress. But all that does not happen by happenstance. It has to be ordered, organized, appreciated, and worked towards. This is how the scripture puts it. In Matthew's gospel, the first of the four gospels in the New Testament, Jesus Christ was speaking and he said this in verse 33. Make sure you seek first God's kingdom and God's righteousness. And as long as you have done that first, not second, first, every other thing that we expect will be added onto it. In other words, keep the main thing the main thing. Get your priorities right. I must get my priorities right. We all as individuals, families, companies, schools, institutions, and certainly as our nation, we must get our priorities right. Government must get her priorities right. The private sector, the religious institutions, we must all, civil society, get our priorities right. Which means that we must glance at 2013 and do a quick cursory look at things and people and programs and projects and pronouncements and things that we did which really did not give us the desired result positively, and drop them quickly and reorganize ourselves quickly before it's February and March and April, because every year has a way of running. And most times when I anticipate a year in the Gambia, a calendar year, I'm amazed because January starts and sooner or later we get into February, so we are thinking independence, and sooner or later we are thinking Korite, and we are thinking Easter, and sooner or later we are thinking maybe Roots Homecoming Festival, we are thinking July 22nd, the next thing summer holiday comes, the next thing, I even forgot Easter, we are thinking Easter, the next thing you know, schools are opening in September, Tobaski is coming, Christmas, before you know it, the year goes. And that does not add all kinds of other programs, holidays, and things that can happen, planned and unplanned. And so sometimes it's like we have to hold the year strong and make sure every day and every week counts, because they fly like that. We need to make sure that the 48-hour working week counts for us. And those in the private sector, maybe extra hours, counts for us, because it tends to fly. It's Monday, before you know it's Thursday, 6 p.m., we shut down. A few people do things Friday, Saturday, we come back again. Question to you is, are you seeking God first? I have every assurance to say, ladies and gentlemen, without any amount of doubt in my heart, that you cannot seek God first, put him first, and everything else will be a waste in your life. It's not possible. There are millions of us globally who can testify to that. And that is why in the biblical concept, there is a concept known as the first fruits. The first that you give to God. And you say, take it. And that's why globally, a lot of people in the month of January take out time to pray and to fast. It becomes their first fruits. God, before we start running helter-skelter in February, chasing contracts, chasing this, looking for school, looking for scholarship, looking for a new job, buying a kind of house, we want to just center down and give you January as our first fruits, as our tithe. In other words, if we seek God's face, seek his will, seek his counsel,